We're here at the ACA Connects Summit, and one of the presentations we heard was led by Tom Cohen and the NTIA Assistant Director, I believe. My takeaway from that was the importance of the states in distributing this BEAD funding. Greg, why don't you give us your thoughts on what we heard in there, and let's have a conversation about where this is all going.
Sure. So Calix has been in the area of helping customers out with funding quite a bit, and I can't stress enough how important it is that service providers are working with the states. So let me back up and explain what that exactly means. States want to be successful. States need to talk to you. States need to understand what your challenges are. They want to understand what the mapping issues are around your areas. Advocate for yourself. Every single state broadband office I talk to, they want to reach out to you. They actually are responsible of doing a report in the first 180 days, and you're part of that.
So the clock is ticking on that, and so it's important to know where broadband is and where it isn't.
Exactly. Many of you've been running your business for a number of different years. A lot of these state offices have just opened up. They're really starting to understand broadband. You need to educate them as much as they help you. It really is a two-way street. The best way to make an impression, a long-term impression with the state, is to be in an education position. But it goes further than that. The federal government has helped us out, put together a broadband map coming from the FCC. The state will take that, but the state needs to make sure that that map is fair across all the different communities. The state is going to play a big role in helping you make sure it's fair for you. For instance, rolling up challenges to the map and talking directly to the federal government. At the end of the day, the decisions are going from Washington to your state capitals and in the hands of the governors. And you need to know that. You need to be part of that.
When you say educate, what do you mean by that? How do you do that? How do you go about it?
Well, the states are setting up both statewide meetings as well as community meetings. Make sure you stay very closely with the state, understand when those meetings are. Calix also, with our program, where we're helping our customers, we're actually getting that information out to you to make sure you are in the seats in that audience so you can help the state. Not only does the state want to understand where they need to invest the money, they want to understand what you need as the service providers. Many service providers are struggling with labor issues. Should the state help fund the different schools? Drive some of the labor issues, drive some of the worker compensations, get that education out there.
One of the challenges, if you're a private business, you've been doing this for years and years and years, but there's a lot of money out there. How in the heck do you find out how to use that to help you build out a new system? That's
great that you asked that, because we at Calix have been doing that for 4 years. We've had over 400 consults across all different size service providers. But we primarily focus on smaller rural carriers, whether it's cooperatives, electrical cooperatives, telephone cooperatives, CLECs, or even cable companies. And we will help you build that strategy.
Now, private equity, last night we heard a call from Jeet Pai saying, hey, call me if you're interested in funding. Do you guys help in the private equity aspects too?
Oh my gosh, I'm so glad you brought that up. I'm coining a new phrase. We have unserved, which is under 25 megabits per second, underserved, under 100. But the last one is an area that must be served. It's an area of where you can come in and build a product and build a presence and win that market, regardless of whether or not it's underserved. If a current community is not served with fiber, that's an opportunity to you. And I believe that's where the private equity firms will come in and play a big part.
That makes sense, and I guess you're seeing that with your customers.
Oh, yes. You could paint a map with all of these different colors. And I call it the donut effect. I call it certain communities, even though they're rural and they're underserved around it, the center of the town, there has been a long-time service provider there that has not invested. Whether it's copper, whether it's coax, whether it's fixed wireless, regardless, the money has not gone into the area. Yet, it's not on the map because it's above that threshold, 100 megabits per second.
I would imagine that's also the opportunity for those incumbents, too, to tap into that private equity to do that rebuild, the fiber or whatever.
Sure. What we find is that most Well, most private equity go to the smaller companies, the private companies. Now, certainly the public companies, the larger ones, which you're talking about, the larger incumbents that haven't invested, they're public companies. They could certainly raise funds. So they could certainly do that through different channels.
Well, it sounds like the expansion in the broadband is going to continue, and it's going to be exciting times in the next 6 months.
Oh my gosh, 6 months, 12 months. We're going to be talking here for probably the next 3 to 4 years as the state starts rolling out the money. We'll start seeing that in 2024 and moving forward.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Greg.
Thank you.